Families across the country are planning their summer vacations, but when your pet is part of your travel plans, well, it can be stressful for both you and your furry companion.
Yeah, the owner of Long Island Houndstown, USA, Mike Gould, has some tips for traveling with your pets this summer. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. So before you go anywhere, the first thing you say pet owners should do is make a vet appointment. Why is that?
Right. Well, one of the things is traveling now post-COVID is stressful for humans, and for dogs, it's 10 times more stressful. So a vet appointment is a good idea if you have any doubt your physical condition of the dog, and you should get all your shots up to date for the dog, his Bordetella, all his vaccines, in the event that you have to visit a vet on the road or you want to participate in a doggy daycare or something like that. So the dog's physical health, obviously, is something you want to take into consideration.
So more pre-planning before hitting the road. If you know you're going to be in the car or on a plane for a long time, what can you do to help calm your pets down a bit?
Right. So exercise and hydration. If you think of your pet, your dog, as a 2-year-old child, they can't make decisions on their own. So we got to think this out for them. And many times pet owners don't take into consideration motion sickness, temperature changes, the time zone changes. These things we think about, but the pets have to adapt to all of these things just like humans do. So hydration is huge for all of us. And of course, exercise. The more exercise the dog can get at various times throughout your trip, it's going to make them settle down.
Okay, and you say routines are important.
Yeah, sure. Routines are important for humans. Routines are important for dogs. So most people eat meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then if that's what you do with your dog, try to incorporate the same time you stop for breakfast, give them a small portion of their food so that maintain their routine.
Oh. All right, well, let's talk about separation anxiety. It's always a big one, especially if you're leaving them alone in a strange hotel room for a few hours, if you're going to dinner and decide not to bring them or can't bring them. What can you do about that?
Yeah, so the best thing to do always is to pre-plan these things. So yeah, just because your dog is comfortable in your home, in his own environment with the same smells and sounds, he's not necessarily going to be restful in a hotel with different odors, different noises, people coming and knocking. So pet carriers are very important. Some hotels require it. So you want to always have some place for the dog to be safe and secure. If your dog has extreme separation anxiety, find a place on the road, doggy daycare, or a place that you can bring the dog so he can be with other dogs during the times you're going out to Disney World or wherever you're going.
Okay. And then, of course, it's getting hotter out there. You have a warning about the heat in dogs, and, put it out there. I mean, I feel like I know where you're going with this, but it's important to say.
It's absolutely important to say because we just forget. We're always in a rush. We're rushing. We got the kids. We got the luggage. We got all these things. And we're usually not used to having the dog in the car. And he might be sleeping in the back of the hatchback, and you forget about him. And, of course, in extreme it goes without saying that that's deadly for the dog, as it is children. So yeah, you have to be hyper vigilant, and always think. I use the analogy of think about a 2-year-old toddler. All of the things you need to do for a toddler, you have to do for a dog, because they can't make the decisions for themselves. You have to think of all of these things.
That's good advice. That's an easy way to blanket think about it for your dog's entire life, not just when they're puppies.
Exactly.
So one last question before we let you go. Advice for pet owners who are traveling without their pets for the first time.
Right. Well, obviously, as the owner of Houndstown, USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth, I recommend. These facilities are like Disney World for dogs.
Yeah.
So think of that. Think of an alternative place to have your dog. Understand that dogs don't necessarily want to do what you want to do. They may not want to go kayaking. They may not want to go boating or parachuting. So give them a place to go for themselves. Think of their needs. Take that into consideration.
All right. The happiest place on earth for dogs?
I love that.
Happy dogs on earth. Other final point, chips. A chip, what do you call microchip, is very important.
Yes.
God forbid your dog gets loose or he gets off the property. We have a microchip. It's very easy. Many of the rescue groups give it to you for free, but it's an important.
Absolutely. Very good tip. Mike, thank you so much for joining us and sharing these tips today.
Thank you guys so much. Pleasure.
Thanks.